Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Toussaint. This is the Mix and Serve. And here at the Mix and Serve, we like to celebrate our damn news on our damn news. That's what I have. Damn News. Damn News is the name of the network. So it's the Drunken American Millennial Network, and here we do a news show called The Mix and Serve. I know it's confusing, but that's because you're not drinking yet. All right? So we're going to get started. We're going to get to it. There's a lot of stuff to cover. Basically what we do on the show, if you've never tuned in before, we're going to take the news, mix up mainstream with a little bit of social media, and serve the truth as only a drunken, low-key conspiracy theorist bartender could do it for you. All right? There's a lot to get into, a lot to cover, and we want to keep today's episode short. So again, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in to give you quick rules for the show and quick rules for our audience here in the room. So that's going to be the Mix and Serve. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't do an impression of him because it just makes my body cringe. Like, it's like you want to start it, but by the end of it, like, you're Igor. You're like, it's great, master. He's trying to be cool about it, but he literally makes me cringe in my body. So, simple rules for throughout the show are this. If you ever hear the title, The Mix and Serve, or the title, Damn, because it's our damn news room. If you hear either one of those things, like if I say damn, then you have to drink, all right? So, damn, everybody, damn. It's gonna be great when I have a full audience. I'm like, can I get a damn? Damn! Yeah, there we go. And that's the news. So, whenever you hear the name of the show, you drink. Whenever I drink, you drink. And whenever we get a like, since this is a live stream show, I can see when we get likes. I can see when we get likes. You can see when we get likes. They come in a little bit later, but basically every time we get a like, you take a drink. And if I notice it, then I'll make everyone drink anyway. So it's up to you. Don't worry about it. But those are the rules throughout the show. And the rules for these stories are, listen. It's going to be rough. There's a lot of stuff that we have to cover that just really sucks. I don't know if you guys have been living here in this place where I live in America, but it's really, really bad. So we're going to drink our way through all of that information. Let's get into our first story of the night. We're going to talk about all of these out of order executive orders. They're all out of order. So let's talk about it. Donald Trump, God. I know I said before on the show that I would only refer to him as Ronald Chump, but it's always hard to get people to remember that that's what I call him. So like the first time I'm like, I say his name, but then my tongue gets like all itchy and I'm like, ooh. So then I have to drink and then I remember, oh no, it's Ronald Chump because of his little baby hands. So Ronald Chump has made a lot of executive orders recently, including greenlighting the DAPL and the KXL pipeline. He has expedited the process that permits them to do this oil fracking, for lack of a better term of it, throughout the country, and not just with those two pipelines. Like he's saying, like those two pipelines are a go, and anybody else who wants to just fuck us in the ass with an oil pipe, go for it. Like just do it as fast as you possibly can. Just shove that oil pipe right up the urethra. Love that oil in my dick hole. So he did that. He also made a big executive order on immigration and border security. Basically saying like we're gonna build that damn wall regardless of the fact that Mexico has specifically said they will not fucking pay for that wall. And we already have acknowledged and kind of dealt with, I think as taxpayers, we all kind of sat at home silently that day that like that news came out. We were like, damn, we are gonna end up paying for that wall. Fuck. Like we said we wouldn't, and like it's like that kid that you said wasn't yours, and then it totally was yours. It's like I'm not paying child support for that kid. It's not my kid. And then like you definitely have to pay child support for that kid. I'm just saying. I'm not had that happen to me personally. I'm just saying that's some people's struggle that I know out there. It's their struggle. So he's saying he's gonna build the damn wall. And the biggest thing he's saying about it is that he's gonna hire like 5,000 more border patrol agents, and like it's gonna create a bunch of more jobs, like tens of thousands of jobs to build the wall. Someone just showed me a great meme of Darth Vader saying it's going to create tens of thousands of jobs to build the Death Star. And I feel like that's about where we're at with it, right? Like the wall is a lot like the Death Star of America. And I don't know where our Luke Skywalker is, but some white guy is out there just waiting to save us. I'm so excited. Super excited. Yeah, Bernie! Obi-Wan, we need you. See, Bernie's our Obi-Wan, so I'm like, where's young Luke? Because Obi-Wan's going to die. Because I mean, look at him. You know, I mean, he was all right the first 3 movies, but he really wasn't. Moving on.
I haven't seen it yet.
The old movies or the new ones?
I haven't seen it yet.
Star Wars, it happened. And it's happening to us right now. We're the Empire, guys. I don't know if you know that, but we live in the Empire. The council's dead, and you know, whatever. Anyways, abortion. He made a big law about abortion. I know. You see how like dramatic and sad of a shift that was? Like our women half of the audience just went, oh, well that was a shitty shift. Now I have to deal with that. Abortion. God, I hate him so much. So he apparently did a ban to federal funds from international groups that provide abortions. And ones that work to legalize or promote abortion rights, basically defunding a lot of programs, not Planned Parenthood specifically, but a lot of other programs that invest in it. He did this, and it was a big thing in social media because he was just surrounded by a bunch of white guys when it happened. When I was like, well, who did you expect him to be surrounded by when he wrote that? It's a bunch of Oompa Loompas, like, Oompa Loompa, signed that abortion bill. I don't think that's how the song goes, is what I'm saying. So, no, it was a bunch of white guys. He also did an executive order doing a hiring freeze for federal government workers in an attempt to shrink government size. I'll get to the mainstream point of it in a moment, but I think it's important to just note for a second that was the first time, like just hearing that, I don't know if that worked for you guys, but that was the first time I remembered that he's supposed to be a Republican. Like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna downsize the government. Oh, that's right, you are supposed to be conservative. Because right-wing people, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but right-wing isn't really right-wing, it's more like nonsense at this point. Like there's like conservative, fiscal conservative, and then there's just ridiculous human being. Which I think is about where our government is, like far, far over here. Not that I'm left-wing, but I am wearing all blue. So of course, he said of course he wanted to specify that this did not include the military. He was like, of course I'm not going to shrink the military. Look at my hands, I need those guys. That's all I know about him. I just heard that the nuclear codes are big buttons. You got to push a bunch of big buttons, and he just can't reach them. So he needs all the army guys. He wanted... oh yeah, of course, yeah. So the TPP, if you don't know what the Trans-Pacific Partnership is, then stop drinking and go do some goddamn research because I can't teach you everything on this show. But basically, Donald Trump did another executive order basically saying, beginning the process of withdrawing the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That along with like the Republicans proposing a bill, which I think that he's come out in stark support for, to remove the U.S. from the United Nations, from our NATO agreement, which also removes us from the climate agreement that we made in the 70s after the United Nations was formed, which basically says to me, okay, you guys aren't just Republican, you specifically are saying that you want us all to die. Like, because there's no middle ground there. There's no middle ground. There's not like yeah, like we can be America or we can be like part of the rest of the world. Like there's a middle ground that you guys are just ignoring. And you're like, you know what? We don't need to fuck with anybody. Let's go back to the arms race. Let's go back to dealing with nuclear and hydrogen bombs that would destroy entire continents. That's a great idea. You're doing great, Republican government. Vote in 2 years, guys. And on March 3rd, if you live in Los Angeles, please vote March 3rd. Of course, if you didn't know, his very first one, which was so dramatic, it was so dramatic, and if you've not seen the video of any of these signings of executive orders, before I get into like the drink of it, I want you to please go watch the videos. They're hilarious. The first one, where he like makes this executive order on Obamacare, on the ACA, you can see like he signs these 2 documents, but like the first document he gets, which mind you, I'm asking you to go watch this because the papers are so huge compared to his small hands, it is hilarious. It's so cartoonish, like, I'm talking like huge. They're huge.
Big Leigh.
Oh god, that guy's gross. I just feel like his mouth is gross. Like I'm wondering, like remember that video where he was like, come on, grab him by the pussy, but like the beginning of it, he talks about just kissing them, like not asking, but just kissing. And you can see it on Michelle's face too at the inauguration. Like when he kisses, it's not like a kiss. It's more like a. It just sounds more like something is dying on the side of your face or in your mouth. I don't know how Melania does it, but it's not my problem. I just assume that she's not a real person anymore. That there's actually an alien inside of Melania's body, like Men in Black. She just pops up in her face, and there's an alien there. That's what I'm imagining. Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Obamacare. Anyways, they made. Okay, at the beginning of the video, he like gets this huge piece of paper that's like as big as this desk. Compared to his hands, it's as big as this bar top. And he like looks at it and he's like trying to sound all cool for like all the reporters. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna sign the shit out of this thing. Sign the shit out of this thing. Hey man, what do I sign? What do I sign? Do I sign? Okay, just sign right there. Okay. And the thing is, the funniest part about him being told where to sign is like he has this huge piece of paper that I can only assume there are pictures on so that he can read it. And he just chose not to read any of it. It's like, I don't need to, and it was only in that moment where I realized, not only is he president, but like Barack Obama was a lawyer. It made sense for him to be president. He has to deal with creating laws, like with executive orders that are law. But these are all new laws, and I'm like, Donald Trump doesn't know anything about law. Like he's never, like if you told him, did he pass the bar? He'd be like, yeah, I passed the Kit Kat on the way over here, and it was great. I got a break from it. It was nice. You know, it was huge. It's a huge Kit Kat bar. No, I mean like the bar exam, Trump. Did you pass the bar exam? Never heard of it. So getting into the drink, I think it's important to talk about like when we talk about like these executive orders and like what's going on here. Like how is the news dealing with this? And I think mainstream news is super funny. They're kind of dealing with this a lot like this is like something exciting. Like they're making it seem like it's like, oh, this is trouble, this is blah, blah, blah. But they're very excited about it. And they're not treating it as deadly as it is. Like they're treating it like the biggest thing it seems to me from what I'm drawing from mainstream is they're like, oh, like, you know, yeah, like Trump is doing this big law about the law. I mean, this big law about the wall, or this big law about, you know, the Affordable Care Act. But it's just change, and it's going to create jobs. I'm like, no, it's tequila, it's alcoholic, very poisonous, and I don't think that drinking 2 ounces of it is going to leave you in a state to do much. So we're going to make 2 ounces of this drink right here because the mainstream media, god damn it, help me, Jesus. We bought the worst tequila I could find too because I just feel like that like what happened was they were like, no, this is like comparable to like, you know, like oh yeah, like Casamigos or Camarena. And I'm like, no, that is not a name. Tres Diablos is not the name of a tequila. That's the name of some guy who just dropped off that bottle on his way over here.
Oh, I thought you got that because they cut your funding.
No. Although Trump was talking about cutting our funding specifically, but he decided to just do the government's instead. Thank you, Dr. Trump. I don't know why I call him doctor, but that's a funny one. I think I might stick with that. Yeah, evil Dr. Trump. And then you know what? So the mainstream kind of dealt with it like, oh, this is exciting, this is kind of weird, but you know, it's gonna be a fucking party house, right? And also I'm gonna say they dealt with it like a party because the Women's March happened, and they were basically like, yeah, like Donald Trump's inauguration party was mad lame, but the Women's March, mad lit, bitch. I was like, that's not really what it was about. It was more about like really teaching this guy like, go fuck yourself. But that didn't really get across, so we're just gonna go ahead and do like another half ounce of this grenadine for the guy here. Yeah, just to be like, you know, it feels like that there's some blood on this situation that we're not entirely sure is happening, but it's definitely happening. Like the fact that the DAPL got violent immediately. Like he basically was like, yeah, fuck the country, and they were like, okay, turn on the hoses, boys, sick the dogs. I said that funnily, but it's not funny. Grenadine. What am I missing here? Triple sec. Because, God, this is some bad triple sec too. I just found the worst of what I could find for this. Although Donald Trump is talking about cutting, that was another thing that he was talking about doing, is cutting the funding for the National Endowment of the Arts. There's apparently something he's done with the EPA. That's just too much news for me right now. So we're just gonna do an ounce of this liqueur, this like a kind of orange liqueur. If you don't know triple sec, it's like an orange liqueur because our president is orange and my Lambo is non-existent. So there you go. Oh shit, can you pass me that ice from right there? Oh yeah, super sweet, super sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna put some of this in there. Oh, you know what? Actually, you know, this situation is a little bit more orange than I think I was giving it credit for. So let's do this. Guys, I don't know if you've been watching the show, but someone needs to get me a new ice tray. I've been out here struggle busting for a whole season and damn near a half now, and just no one cares. No one calls in and says, "Will, I see you out there with the ice, my dude. Keep up the hustle, my man." No one cares. No one cares. No one's loving on me for that. But I wasn't given enough credit to how orange this situation is. So I'm gonna put some orange juice in here, just a whole ounce right there. Oh yeah, God, that looks like our president just right there, a little bit more orange. Like if I could just put a bad hairdo on that, that'd be it. That'd be the guy. So let's mix this thing up here and find out what we got. I feel like that even though Trump has got some kind of thing against Latinos, like he must love tequila. He seems like the kind of president that would like tequila, right? Like Obama's like a beer kind of guy, right? And Trump is definitely like drinking on some George Clooney like Casamigos tequila, you know? See, that's an advertisement for you, George Clooney, but where's my fucking paper, homie? Alright, moving on. Oh, yeah. It's shaking. It's not stirred. This is a shaking situation, vigorously. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna open it up there. And here we go. The worst tequila sunrise I've ever made in my life. Oh, sorry, this is actually a sunset. Because if there's anything that I've learned from just watching the mainstream news and the social media news on this situation, Obama said, "Hey, don't worry, the sun will rise." And I was like, yeah, but that motherfucker sets too. So here's to the setting sun and our orange-ass president that ruins everything. The drink's still not bad. Thank you. I just pass drinks to people. If you were here, you'd be getting a drink, but where you at? Sitting on your ass. At home. Not my fault. All right, here we go. So let's move on. I want to move on to our first game here. Normally what would happen is we would move into truth and a lie. And I would hope that someone was here on time. Can't always guarantee that. So just to make sure, we're going to move on to Gaming On You. There's been a lot of stuff to happen in the news for sports recently, and if you watch the show, you'll notice I do stuff on sports and I do stuff on video games for this segment. Today it's going to be specifically sports because like the Australia Open, like the Olympics. Sorry, I thought of the Olympics and I thought of last year and like their whole political thing, and I was just like, right in there, right in the feels. Hey, buddy. There's just a lot of stuff going on, Super Bowl, and so I wanted to do a couple of stories about that. Now, normally I would have this really handsome guy with a great mustache come up here and talk about some of this stuff, but we're not at that point yet. He hasn't officially gotten the job yet. He doesn't really trust me, so to speak. So we're gonna read these off, and this will be the rules for the drinking game here on the Mix and Serve. Damn. Cheers.
Damn.
If you guys need more beers, let me know because I'm like going.
I'm your fridge girl. We know.
So basically, what's gonna happen here is for these stories for Gaming On You, if you knew what we're about to tell you, then you're safe and you don't have to drink. Somehow you did your research. Great for you. If you didn't know, then definitely drink. Congratulations, you're learning something new. But if you knew it and you feel like that you've got like a bunch of great opinions about it, like thank you. This is my guy right here. Why don't you come and talk to us about some of this sports stuff? Basically, if you knew what was happening, basically, if you knew what was happening, then you don't have to drink. If you didn't know, then you do have to drink. But if you knew it and you feel like that you've got more information on it than what we gave, then go drink and fuck yourself. Okay? So we're gonna talk. These are kind of the stories here that we're gonna talk about.
Oh, the Australian Open.
The Australian Open.
I enjoy that one.
It's happening.
About a 41-year-old lady finally got in to the Australian Open. She made it to the finals.
Oh, shit.
And as soon as she made it to the finals, they handed her the microphone for her to speak.
You really made it.
As in, like, here's the microphone because we know you're not going to win, so you might as well just go ahead and say your speech now.
Yeah. That's damn depressing. It was like they didn't even try, like because Venus and Serena are also playing versus each other for the.
Venus and Serena are gonna whoop that ass.
They're gonna whoop that ass. I mean, anybody that plays against them, it's like no hope for you. But like they didn't even give the other girl like any hope. Like they just didn't even try. They were just like you're.
No, they said congratulations on making it this far. Here's a microphone.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, hey,
like,
you know what? We celebrate you.
It's been since 1991 or something like
since
that.
Since she's been playing the sport professionally.
No, since she made it to the finals. And
she made it to the finals every year and then go to the...
No, since 1991 or something like that. And then they're like, oh, welcome back. We never thought we'd see you. Got any words to say? And then she just started crying.
Oh!
And it was very emotional. It was very sweet, but like... I mean, that's how I felt about it. I don't expect her old bones to go much further, but I mean, she could probably kick my ass in any tennis,
sport.
Any sport. Yeah.
Any sport, yeah.
Wrestling.
I mean, not saying that you're, I'm just saying that she's probably, at 41, she's, doing it. So I actually want to ask about this because I feel like that you know about what's going on here because this is one of my good buddies here in LA. His name is Blake. All right, everybody give it up for Blake. All right, Blake is our, cheers buddy, cheers, welcome to the show. He's going to be our Barback / official sports correspondent who is highly intelligent about all this stuff. And he was talking to me earlier about the Olympics and how LA made a bid for the Olympics. Like, what's going on with that? Because we both live over here.
Most likely LA will get the Olympics. We've hosted it several times before.
I did not know that.
We'll probably get the bid. But the cool thing is that they're gonna take the piggyback yard and just transform it.
And the piggyback yard is
it's a train. It's a train depot. Mm-hmm. It's a train stacking area.
Okay. So where trains kind of get it on.
Yeah.
Like train home.
Up in the caboose.
Where they get all up in the caboose. Nice.
Caboose,
Sounds good. So they're gonna transfer this piggyback yard into the.
It's a possibility that if LA gets it, that they could consider turning the piggyback yard into a Olympic village.
The Olympic Village.
The problem with the Olympics is that the Olympics have always been known to be a destitute situation. So like countries that pick up the Olympics, like right afterwards, they go broke. Excuse me. It's really expensive to have the Olympics in your country.
That smells great. Getting some of that Jack in the Box right there.
Wafting.
Yeah, wafting right there.
Wafting, shake it up.
There we go. That's good. All right, there you go. See, that's real drinking for you. That's what barbacks are all about. Drinking.
And that's a breath of fresh air on
the
sports scene.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Signing off.
Yeah, everybody. Blake Byrum, everybody. Thank you so much, Blake. Thank you so much. Last thing on sports, just here, Usain Bolt actually lost his triple because some guy that he was running the triple with, one of his teammates, the relay race, one of his teammates was found guilty of doing some drugs, performance-enhancing drugs, which I just keep wondering, where do these guys keep getting these drugs and where do I sign up? Okay, so moving right along from the drug situation, let's talk about our next story here. NASA. Not available, says anyone. NASA.
NASA.com.
I literally just made that up. I don't know what. I don't have anything against NASA. I love those guys. I just thought that was funny because I never hear from them anymore. It's like, I feel like NASA's like my old best friend that like I went to college with and we were like, yeah, we're going to be best friends forever. And like NASA in America, they're like, yeah, we're going to be best friends forever. And now like NASA like never really calls or like America doesn't really want to talk to NASA. America's like, no, I'm busy and married now, bro. I can't do anything. Like, it's cool, man, whatever. We don't have to hang out, man, whatever. Anyways, I was thinking about NASA because, damn. Cheers.
Damn.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you. I was thinking about NASA because that movie, Hidden Figures, it's not fucking Hidden Fences, okay? Literally, like, I watched the movie, and at the end of it, I was like, how can anyone say Hidden Fences? It just doesn't make any, like, I get it, like, the whole, like, black people all look alike, just group all the black movies into one movie, fine, but, like, it just literally, like, it was so particular, the name, it just didn't make any sense. Like, it's literally all about hidden figures. There's no fences. There's not even fences at NASA. They don't even have fences at NASA. I was like, where did you get the fence from? I bet you didn't see either movie. And I didn't see fences but I love that play a lot. I love August Wilson's work. And one day I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna be like, dude, they have actual fences in this movie. That makes sense. That's why they call it fences. And that one had hidden figures. That's why it's called Hidden Figures. You know, it makes sense, right? Anyways, NASA, I thought about it, and they've been really important to America for a long time when it was in the race for space and the whole kind of Cold War thing that was going on, which is really cool. And we got a lot of stuff from NASA that none of us really recognize or deal with. Like, it seems like common knowledge, but if there's anything I learned from this past election, common knowledge isn't so common. It doesn't seem like everyone's doing that. Like, you know, like we can all decide, hey, the first person was actually found in Africa, it was a woman, and everybody's like, no, Adam and Eve sounds right. Just facts just don't. Alternate facts is what they're called now. It's fine. No, it's fine. Anyways. So NASA, I want to give them a shout out before I get into the story of dealing with them on some of the stuff that we've gotten from them that are really cool. First, LED lights, which if you are a person that lives in California, I want you to know that I specifically voted for that law so I could use LED lights to grow my own weed. That's all I'm saying is I want to grow my own weed, and LED lights and stuff like that really help. LED lights. Water purification, which is hilarious considering our current situation in the country and the world, because we are definitely going to be in a water crisis. Like this show, I guarantee you, in a year, maybe less at the rate that we're moving right now, but within the year, I guarantee you, we will be addressing it officially as a water crisis. Because we can't now, even though the bees are endangered, and definitely ice polar caps are melting, and polar bears are up there jacking it to their last days, just being like, this is all I got left, just jacking it up here in the snow, or sorry, slush. Water purification, I think that's really cool. Artificial limbs, another gift from NASA. Artificial limbs. In-ear thermometers, because we were all sick of having them up our butts and in our mouths. It just seems like of the two places where it could go, why does it have to be those two together? In your butt and in your mouth. It just doesn't seem like that's where it's supposed to go. So in-ear thermometers, thank you NASA. Highway safety grooves, which I don't know if you guys have ever been really sleepy on the road, but I've been getting some really sleepy on the road before. And I was like really grateful for those little bumps in the road where it's like you're going off road and it's like, hey, where you going? So I feel like that's, gotta give NASA a shout out for the safety grooves. Firefighter gear, I had no idea, but it totally makes sense. Those guys kind of look like astronauts in the first place. Right? Their gear, like when you touch it, it's kind of astronaut suit feeling. I don't know if you ever felt astronaut suits, but let's just say I've been desperate for money more than a few times, and I know what those suits feel like. You know what I'm saying? Firefighter gear is apparently from NASA. That's really cool. Freeze drying things. Freeze drying, which I'm not exactly sure what that phrase even means anymore, but I know that it's a real thing. Freeze drying. Do you want to pass? Handheld cordless vacuums, like those little vacuums that we have that vacuum up stuff without a little cord attached to it. That's really cool. Those came from NASA. Maybe it's because NASA's good at sucking, but that's what they did. They got one of those guys, you know. Couldn't resist. They shouldn't have made it. Fuck you guys, shouldn't have made it. Super Soaker, speaking of sucking, actually the Super Soaker was definitely created by NASA. These are real things created by NASA, I swear to God. Memory foam, created by NASA. Insulation between walls, which my neighbors never benefit from. That was also created by NASA. Invisible braces, because NASA was sick at all the adult nerds with their adult braces working at NASA, and they said, fuck you, those should be invisible. I shouldn't have to look at your braces every day. It's enough nerds in here, you can fuck off with those braces. So they created invisible braces. Yeah, come on. Nerds. They also created workout machines, which I think is ironic, right? Because I mean, there are a bunch of nerds who will never use that equipment. And they created insulin pumps, which are for diabetes. I know. I thought too for a second. I was like, wait, isn't that for like
diabetes?
Isn't that for like what's it called? I forgot what I said.
Allergies.
Allergies. Diabetics are allergies to me, bro. Fuck them. Anyways, no, that's not true. I don't mean that. I'm sorry. If you have diabetes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you.
Be allergic
it's
to
okay.
diabetics.
I am allergic to diabetics, actually. I have an allergy to.
Diabetics.
How is that better?
I'm gonna stop. Like literally, I was going, and I had to stop for a moment and be like, Will, you're going too far. You're going too far. Anyways, I had to give it up for NASA because they had a new spacesuit come out, which if you don't follow their new Twitter account, which the EPA, what was the name of the other?
National Park Service.
The National Park Service, and there was one more that you just showed me a clip from. Basically, there are a few sites that because Donald Trump and his entire cabinet and the executive branch have basically gone to war with them and their type, he was like, oh, like we'll just, you know, create our own kind of rebel Twitter accounts. So NASA has dope accounts. If you don't follow them on Snapchat, yo, follow them on Snapchat, bro. It's funny as shit, okay? I don't know who's not watching Snapchat to know this, but motherfucker, NASA is on Snapchat, dog. I'm telling you, bro. A1 since day one. That's my shit, okay? NASA, bro. But I'm gonna do a drink for NASA because I feel like that after the whole thing that went down with the Cold War and all that shit, that we just kind of all forgot about NASA, which is funny because we still benefit from all the shit that they gave us. Like even today, ice trays. I think ice trays are from fucking NASA. Like I'm not joking. I'm not making that up because I'm fake news. Okay, I'm serious about that. I'm pretty sure that NASA created ice trays. I need to put that in there. Yeah, let's fact check it. Let's fact check it. Did NASA create ice trays? Probably not. And that's all I got on
Somebody help
that.
out a brother with some ice.
Yeah. Nice NASA hooked me up with some new ice trays. What was I about to do here? I'm gonna do a drink. Oh, my phone is what's making the thing. I remember the recipe. What I'll need though is that coffee. Yes. Blake, if you don't mind with your fancy jacket. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Blake has a great mustache, and I feel like as the anchor of the show, I should have a great mustache, but I'm black, so I can't help. You know what I'm saying? I can't do everything. I mean, like one thing at a time. I don't want to. I kind of just. I want to. Okay, we're gonna just. You just want to. Okay, let's just. Hey, let's just put it right there. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, as a conspiracy theorist anchor on a news show that's all about drinking, really, and not really the news. What was I even gonna say, man? That's how serious it is. Like
Can of worms.
Can of worms. Not even can of worms. No, historians, all that shit. You know what happens to me
Indiana
when I hear
Jones.
that it's getting lost in history or lost in translation? I'm like, hashtag white people. I don't need to know more about it. That's all I need to know. If you motherfuckers can't decide who invented it, that means it was probably somebody not white. And everybody trying to work out that issue. They're trying to work out the issue of not having a white dude that invented the goddamn ice tray. Just ain't that deep. Just say the black motherfucker invented it, alright? Be done with it. Damn. Probably this crazy black dude that was like, hey man, why don't we have ice and drinks? I feel like white people should have had that since they started this punk ass country. And white dudes was like, hey, did you fucking hear that guy? We gotta fucking get there. Gotta get that goddamn ice tray. Fuck that guy. Writing new in the history books. I created it 20 years later. Fuck that guy. Anyway, so I want to talk about NASA. I feel like that. Okay, I want you to know I'm using vodka for this drink, and here's why. Because Russia, if they're not laughing at us for any other reason, which there are plenty of reasons for them to laugh at us right now, especially our president. It's like the number one. I feel like most Russian people are sitting in Russia like now, like, Trump. You're so funny. We put in there. That's my African accent. I don't know what Russians sound like. I'm not Russian.
I thought that was Jamaican.
It was like Jamaican and African, but never Russian. Like this person had never even been to Russia.
Whatever it was very black.
That was the
It was as black as it gets. And see, that's why I can't make fun of Trump. I can do an Obama accent, but not a Trump accent because it just doesn't fit in my body. You know, he's just too small. That's why I kind of cringe. He's so small of a person. It's what Jay-Z was right. He's a minuscule kind of dude, not just in his hands, but in his mind and his soul. He's just a small man. And so like I just kind of
Can you do that accent one more time and say, Jamaican bobsled team, man?
No, I can't. I definitely can't and won't. I won't do it.
Can you do a little Barack?
I can do a little Barack. And the best thing about Barack at this point is he's off getting some of that good from Michelle. Some of that good for old burial. And everybody else in the country is totally fucked. Shouldn't let the fucker talk about my birth certificate so long. maybe we wouldn't have these problems. That's what I feel like Barack is thinking about this whole situation. He's like, you know what, this is your fault. You let that guy pick on me for all these years, and you let the whole house and all those guys pick on me for 8 years. You let it slide, and now they're all fucking you to death. Literally. I'm not joking here, all right? Deciding to leave the UN is literally fucking us to death. There is no more of a death fuck in existence than asking us to not only leave the UN and fuck over the TPP and fuck over just I just feel like you could fuck us harder to death, but then you would be dead. So, cheers to that. Anyways, this drink I want to say that the mainstream is kind of stuck with. The mainstream kind of made it all about Russia. Like, that was the reason why NASA was so important, right? So we're going to start off with the vodka and say that that's why this drink is important, right? That it's just vodka. It's because of Russia. If it wasn't for Russia, NASA would have never been shit. Like, literally, if you watch Hidden Figures, it's like the thing that propels the action is the fact that Russia is also trying to get to space and doing much better than we are. Literally because everyone there goes to the same fucking bathroom. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it and stop pissing me off. Okay, thank you. So moving right along. So we're gonna do the 2 ounces of vodka for the mainstream. But let's get into the not mainstream of it. Actually, I'm gonna need that milk too out of there. Can I get that milk? Not the real milk. Oh God, no! Please, the vegan milk. I'm gonna die. Thank you.
It's not milk. Okay.
It's not milk, but 1, I'm lactose intolerant. 2, I only buy vegan products in my house. And 3, real milk, seriously, is just rape juice, and I'm not gonna drink that anymore. I can't. Yeah, I said it. It's rape juice. Try to pretend it's not now. Try to pretend it's not. I swear to God, if you're eating a bowl of cereal right now, you're like, it's not rape juice. Oh God. Oh God. You're a part of this. You did that. So we're gonna add a little bit of milk because I feel like social media wise, we all know that NASA is important, but we don't really care, right? So we kind of take it like, oh yeah, this is healthy. We're just gonna add like a half ounce of that health right in there, right? That'll be good. Here we go. You want to take this?
Sorry to interrupt. We have breaking news. On the idea of milk, if you go to boughtmilk.com, there is a lawsuit against the cow farmers industry, and you can get actually $70 back.
Motherfucker!
I heard it was like 5.
Fuck that! You should have told Baby Booties yesterday, my dude.
Boughtmilk.com.
Bought milk.
This interruption has been brought to you by boughtmilk.com.
Yeah, thank you, Bought Milk. Thank you, Blake, and thank you, Bought Milk. Can you toss that in the fridge there? That makes me so happy. I need $70. I don't know about you motherfuckers, but I like to buy a lot of weed. And out here in California, it may be a decent price, but you still got to pay for the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So we got the vodka, we got the milk, which looks disgusting there, even though it's not actual milk. I'm going to put a little bit of coffee in there too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yikes. This is going to be good. I feel like what we're talking about here, like, is with coffee is kind of like social media dealing with NASA is like something that is nerdy, right? Like, we think of coffee, we think, oh, I'm studying, or I have a caffeine addiction, or I'm not allowed to drink anymore, so this is my kind of substitute. So we're gonna say that the coffee is the kind of other social media aspect of dealing with the drinking with NASA. Not drinking. NASA should be drinking. I'd be drinking if I worked in NASA all the time. I'd be drinking booze and zero gravity, like, fuck that. Here we go. So now we're gonna mix this thing up right here. Whoop, whoop. Oh yeah, you guys can take back this coffee because I actually do want some coffee, but oh, that's hot. Was that on camera? No. Gonna say everybody's like, oh, what's it going on? Yeah, do it, buddy. Now this drink is called the Wake Up Call. Because if there's anything that I feel like thinking about NASA and looking at, that's not actually a bad looking drink, but looking at Hidden Figures and looking at where we are with NASA and how we go through all this stuff and we're not dealing with the fact that we just really need to probably leave this planet, right? So there's a kind of debate between, which is why this is called the wake-up call. Okay, we need to go. We need to go. All right, let's be honest about it. All right. If there's one thing Obama would tell you right now. He'd be like, we're going to Mars. That's really what him and Michelle wanted to say when they got on their Air Force One the last time we saw them. They really wanted to say, oh, fuck you guys, we're going to Mars. And Matt Damon was on Mars, but thank God he's actually not gone yet, because if white people were there first, I probably wouldn't go. That's just keeping it real. If white people are already there, I'd be like, literally, what's the point? What am I losing? What am I gaining here? It's the same fucking thing over and over again. No, wake up call. I'm saying that this is an important drink because there's a big debate right now in the science community about whether or not we've already crossed the line, the point of no return, where we say to ourselves, you know what, as a species, we've done too much damage to the planet. We can't reverse it. We're all gonna die here. Or, and this is what I feel like, I feel like if America gets over its race issue, and if the world could get over white supremacy, we'd be looking at a true possible utopia for our species. Sincerely, think about it. All the problems that you've ever had usually stem back to white supremacy in some way. Like in some way, somebody at the top chain, and this is not just for colored people. This is for white people. You guys don't get it. It's a class thing, and the top class says, well, we'll make racism the new problem because you had to find a way to make people hate each other before, but now we'll say now it's race. So you guys hate each other and you can't move forward. But you see me and Blake here, and then thus we're making a show. Anyways, I just think that as far as the wake-up call is concerned, we might be past the point of no return with respect to climate change. So maybe we need to go ahead and plan on getting the fuck up out of here. And the only motherfuckers I know that's gonna really do that is NASA. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm getting on the goddamn rocket ship. That's all I'm saying.
You reminded me of Independence Day.
Yes! Fuck that! Independence Day! Fuck yes! Fuck yes! To the fat lady sings, I smoke this motherfucker right now. Man, that's my shit. I'm like, Will, you should have been upset about not getting an Oscar for Independence Day, goddammit. The way you whooped that alien's ass, we was all up in there. You gonna ask for one for goddamn concussion or whatever the fuck it was called. Should have been called Christians and NFL come together and make a bad movie. Here, who wants this drink? Who wants this drink? It's a drink. It doesn't taste too bad actually. It tastes like a wake-up call. It tastes like a coffee that you literally just made alcoholic. You were like, I want coffee, but I also want to slowly kill myself. Booze. So let's move on here. This is the segment where we would have traffic person come in. I'm gonna do this, one more segment, and then we're gonna be out of here. What do you think?
Huh?
You wanna do it?
What is it?
Come on. Guys, I want you to meet somebody. This is Leigh Jones. Everybody give it up for Leigh Jones. You're gonna need that beer. You're gonna need that beer, Leigh. If you don't have one, I'll give you one right now. You need beer? There you go. Hey, I was saving this for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. That's our last one in the house, so, don't fuck it up. No, I'm just kidding. But this is Leigh Jones, everyone. We went to high school together. She's a great correspondent for traffic. I've known her to be a great, great driver. Basically, this is what's going to happen. What you're going to do here is, and we'll do it together here. Okay, I'll read one, and then you read a story. And then the audience has to guess, all right? This is called a truth and a lie, all right? So I'm going to give you a traffic story. She's going to give you a traffic story. Or vice versa. Maybe she'll go first. Matter of fact, ladies will go first. Let's do that,
Okay.
Obama would approve. So she'll go first, and then I'll read a story. And then you, the audience, will take a moment and decide which one is the true story, all right? Then we'll tell you which one is true, all right? If you get it right, then yeah, you don't have to drink, right? If you get it wrong,
Wait, how's that yay?
you do have to drink. No, yay isn't like you don't have to poison your body slowly. If you get it wrong, then you do have to drink. But if you get it right, oh shit, no way.
If you're really sure.
Okay, no wait. If you get it right, okay, I got it. If you get it right, then you drink. Congratulations, you do get to drink and poison yourself slowly. There you go. If you get it wrong, you don't get to drink. Boo-hoo, go cry to your friend who's actually having a good time. But if you get it wrong and you were really feeling like you had it right, like you really thought like in your mind, like you were like I'm wrong, but that's probably a real news story. Like go ahead and take a drink, but drink a lot because you have problems with alternate facts, okay? Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. You just pick one of the two in each of these two, right? And then I'll read the other one, and then they will decide which one is the real one.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. Okay. So.
I pop it over with my ring here. It's doing great.
So a toddler drives a plastic car to the bank to talk about his loan and give them the car.
Give him back the car, right?
Yeah.
So that's a news story. The other possible news story is hijackers steal a car with a 10-year-old boy in the back seat. They then drive him to school, drop him off, and tell him to have a good day. So which of those news stories is real? Which one's the real one? Did a toddler drive his plastic car to the bank to return it because his loan was probably fucked up, which the auto industry is crashing? Or did hijackers steal a car with a 10-year-old boy inside and then drop him off at school, and they were just better parents? I think they were just better parents at the end of the day, right? So which story is the case here? You gotta give the audience a moment. They gotta kind of stroke it a little bit, slow stroke it. You know what I'm saying?
Why are they? Why? That is probably what half of the people are doing.
That is what they're doing. That's what I feel like that's because this is like an internet show, and this isn't like internet chat room anymore. But I feel like that if somebody called in right now, it'd be a lot like those internet chat rooms back in the day where they're kind of slow stroking it. The truth is, hijackers stole a car with a 10-year-old boy in the back seat and then dropped his ass off to school, told him to have a good day.
That's sweet.
That is sweet, but I really need to talk to those parents because that little boy, it seems like for them to go through the actions of kidnapping him, dropping him off, and wishing him a good day, I feel like the kid was along for the ride. This is actually a little bit better than what I'm used to.
That had to be a good kid. I feel like if he was annoying, they would have just shoved him out while they were driving.
Right.
But,
Not like Home Alone style. Just kind of, but then he's got a booby trap in the car.
They were trying to kill him though.
Oh.
So.
They weren't. I forgot about that. They were trying to kill that kid.
Well, he was.
He was a shitty kid.
He definitely was going to murder them with everything he did.
Yeah. That was almost, he should have been charged
with
close to murder.
Did you see he's doing a new show?
The kid, the guy who grew up?
Macaulay Culkin is super fucking
He looks
weird.
like a crack addict now, right?
A weird person.
He's always like a crack addict.
He looks a little crack addict, right?
I mean,
He was
who
a
else,
cute
who else
child.
could do that to a house in less than
That's
a day?
true. Somebody on crack could do that.
White on white crime.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a problem.
So let's get to the next one here.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want to pick up the two there.
Okay. Yeah. Widow takes dead husband on a road trip in Alaska when she was supposed to take him to the mortuary, but drove around for a couple of days. That's a normal thing to do.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like what I would do if I had a dead spouse in my car. A man died in a hit and run, but no one worried because he drove about a half mile more before his car actually stopped. Yeah, those are the two news stories there. So we'll give you a second to kind of decide. Did the widow take her dead husband on a road trip, showing him the sights? Or did a man die in a hit and run, but no one thought he was dead for another half mile because his car was just kind of skidding along there? Which one happened? What do you think?
So,
The first one? Yeah?
yeah,
Maybe
I can see
in a
that.
hit and run, half a mile, that's a stretch.
Well,
That's too long.
It was the widow! I'm serious, somebody did this. They drove their husband's dead body up to Alaska.
that's
showed him the
also
sights.
sweet. These are touching
That's
news stories.
disgusting.
That's really sad.
That's the
That's
type of positive news.
Not
that we
sad or
need.
sweet, it's gross, lady.
What?
You need...
Maybe they talked about going to Alaska. This was a plan they had. It's
Yeah,
his
maybe
final
that was
The
wish.
plan is done, he's
It's to
dead.
take a road trip. Listen, that's
All
okay.
right. Okay, so let's do this next one here. We got a few more.
Okay. Okay. Man on a boat lets the dogs out in Atlantic Ocean.
Who let the
It
dogs
says-
out?
The man on the boat.
Stop. And he says that they like outcasts. So I wanted to make them AT-aliens.
That's right.
AT-aliens.
There we go.
Georgia, A-Town.
So we didn't throw up gang signs. This is a real thing, Atlanta. The other story is, so there was a man on a boat. So her story, the man on a boat, let the dogs out. My story, a trucker loses his marbles, literally. A trailer with 38,000 pounds of marbles overturned on the highway in Indianapolis. So what happened? Did a man let his dogs out on the Atlantic Ocean because they wanted to become AT-aliens? Or did a trucker lose his marbles in Indianapolis on a highway, 38,000 pounds worth of marbles?
The first one, and they're probably in Florida.
The dog? The dog or the trucker? The trucker?
The dogs.
The dogs?
And they're probably in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, if you guessed that it's the dogs, if you guessed that someone let the dogs out, you're wrong.
Whoa.
You're wrong. A man actually lost his marbles. No dogs were let out.
What?
No dogs were let free.
Yeah.
There will never be AT-aliens. They will always be native New Yorkers.
Yeah. But long live outcasts because they're the best.
Outcasts forever, all day,
Literally the
every day.
best. Love you.
But no, yeah, a man actually did definitely lose his marbles, and it was pretty rough. Let's do this one, and then we'll let you get out of here.
All right, let's see. So, Georgia man seeking a pardon drives a stolen car to his meeting with the Attorney General.
Yeah,
This is in Georgia, so
yeah, a Georgia man
I'm gonna give it.
drove a stolen car to meet with the Attorney General. Here's another story. Trump broke tradition recently when upon his first boarding of Air Force One, when he did not wave to the media on boarding. Basically, what they're saying is that Trump walked up the steps and just got on the plane.
Yeah.
That's about right.
No.
I don't think so. I think he would have just given him a middle finger then.
Right?
Yeah.
He hates them so much. So which was it? Did a Georgia man drive a stolen car to meet the Attorney General?
So Georgia.
Well, now
Or-
you're trying to trick us
Oh yeah.
because obviously we think that Trump did it, and
Right.
now you have to say that he didn't because you're trying to make it obvious.
Well, what is
so
it then?
it's
What is it
not
then?
that.
Trump
Is it-
has-
Is it Trump or is it the Georgia?
Well, I mean, he's
I think
also
it's
really
Georgia.
ashamed of his tiny hands, so he
Could be
Just
Trump.
gonna draw attention to it.
But we're talking about the state of Georgia.
It's Georgia.
Man drove a stolen car to meet with the Attorney General. That's the story we're going with? You're fucking wrong! No, seriously. Yeah, cheers. No, Trump was very serious. This is super funny. You gotta watch the videos of Trump recently because the only thing I'm excited about for Trump presidency is the chance to actually hate my president again and like make fun of him as diligently as we did as a country before, you know? Like we would take George W. Bush and fry his bitch ass. Like
That was
we
fun.
roasted him every day. It was so much fun. That dude literally could not read.
He was
I don't know if
weird.
you've been to Texas. You know he has a library in Texas that is full of picture books. I just think that that's perfect. They're all picture books, and it's just as hilarious as it sounds. But I'm excited to make fun of that again. But basically, this has sincerely happened. Trump got on Air Force One, first time, swear to God. Which is also funny because Melania wasn't there, because she's off making illegal money
She's
with Trump.
hiding from him.
Or hiding, yeah. And he literally
Free
got on the
Melania.
plane.
Free
He literally got on the plane, and he was just like this. He was just like thought about it, like not even for a half
He was
second.
like-
Like thought about it for like not even a half second. Like he was checking something on his shoulder, just by accident at that moment, and then decided to get on the plane.
Maybe he was looking at the two angels and the bad one was like, fuck him. And he was like, yeah, you right.
Oh, he definitely doesn't
Fine.
have two people
Do
on
you
his
think
shoulders.
there's
There's
a
You're right.
There's-
No, I'm
there's-
sorry.
there's
that
just-
one and then
I don't even think there's a bad one. I think there are
Oh,
just
no.
I think there's just two Donald Trumps. Like one of them is dressed more like Donald Trump and the other one's dressed more like Putin, but they're both Donald Trump in disguise.
Or maybe
Uh,
he has nothing on his shoulders and he just is Satan.
Yeah, maybe he could just be Satan, but I feel like Satan would be personally offended at us saying that
Yeah.
about him. Satan would be like, no.
Higher
Maybe
standards.
swallow
No,
the
Satan,
whole
like,
running around
as Satan,
by
like you should
Satan.
ask God. Like I'm pretty dope actually. I actually do real work. Okay, like I've never gone bankrupt. Okay, so you know. Anyways, thank you guys for Leigh Jones here, our future chapter correspondent. Thank you so much.
you didn't tell the whole truth with that last story though.
With the Attorney General or
The
Trump.
Georgia story.
Oh, I should let you guys know. The trick was about the story is that actually the Georgia story was really close to being true. The only truth in it was that it was actually a Florida man. Which see,
I was right about one
You were right. You were right. I would have thought about that though. I would have been like, you know what? You know what? It could be a Georgia man, but more likely he's from Florida.
Yes.
You know, it just feels like he's more likely from Florida. You know, there's the kind of catching. So last one, and then we're gonna kind of end the show right here. Are we at an hour? Where are we at with time?
We are like up to a couple minutes short of an hour.
Okay, great. So great. So one more traffic story, and then I'll let you guys deal with my life here. Okay, so a 75-year-old woman from Texas flew through a tornado in a bathtub and then landed in the woods unharmed. I'm only assuming that she was pulled over afterwards. I just think the bathtubs also have a, kind of speed limit on them. So 75-year-old woman, Texas, flies through a tornado in a bathtub. Or did Gabrielle from BidChat's website greeting video, I don't know if you've ever been to BidChat, but if ever you've opened the app and it says, "Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I'm Gabrielle." Yeah, that girl. Gabrielle, I make a bunch of jokes about you, but this one's going to be really good. Gabrielle, because this might be true. This might be true. Did Gabrielle from BidChat's welcome video get a new BMW motorcycle that doesn't turn over? I don't know if you guys know this, but they have a new motorcycle that doesn't turn over. And she got run over by that very bike. That bike then chased her down and ran her over. Which one is the true story? Did a 75-year-old... No, this is crazy shit, because the thing is that both of these stories could be true. All right, so I want you to take a real moment and think about it. Did Gabrielle get run over by her new BMW bike? Because I know Gabrielle through BidChat, okay? And... Or did a 75-year-old woman from Texas fly through a tornado in a bathtub and land in the woods?
The woods.
It was the woods! You're damn right it was the woods! Because Gabrielle's still not run over, no matter how many people I call that say that they're assassins. It will never happen. Gabrielle's still alive, everybody. That is a truth and a lie. And so seriously, that 75-year-old woman from Texas, was a black woman, which only makes sense. Because who the fuck else could fly through a tornado in a fucking bathtub and land safely in the woods and then still get pulled over? I just assume she did because she's black. I assume she got pulled over.
Picture at a picnic table.
Yeah.
Black bathtub, no crap.
For all I know, it could have been Maxine Waters, California State Representative. It could have been her. She's got enough sass to do it.
Oh.
I just hate her name too. Just hearing her name, I'm like, just that.
Kellyanne Conway.
It makes me regret the one person I ever dated named Kellyanne. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, yeah. Oh god. But she's a cool person. If you ever watch this Kellyanne, I think you're still cool. All right, so that'd be too much like right. And then we're gonna get out. I just want to say a couple of things to a couple of people that just need to get the fuck together, because you could have, should have, would have, and probably like you have to. You just definitely should have done this thing that you just didn't do, because that'd be too much like right. So I want to talk to you, Elon Musk, my dude, Elon, my dude. For somebody who's so forward thinking in our energy sources and our car emissions and all that shit, it only makes sense that you would come out and publicly support Rex Tillerson for the new Secretary of State, the formerly CEO of ExxonMobil. You came out and publicly supported that guy for Secretary of State. And I think that for our first cheers, if that'd be too much like right, this one goes to you, Elon Musk. You could have stood up to that motherfucker, but that'd be too much like right? So, cheers to fucking our country to death, because no one wants to live here anymore. We all hate it. Just living on the planet, it's just awful. Fuck Earth. Oh, fuck the Earth. Last one, and then we're done. Ivanka Trump. BuzzFeed actually just did a story on this, which we found out right before the show went live tonight. Ivanka Trump has a website that is promoting a Russian app that finds you wherever you are. Yeah. Which is funny because South Park just did a funny episode about something like this, and now it's not funny because that's super real. Now this app isn't very different from like Google Maps or even just sharing your location on your iPhone. It's not much different. At any point you can stop the person from looking at it. I'm not saying the app will stop looking at where you are, but the person who you're supposed to be sharing your location with might. But I want you guys to know that this app is called Sky Guru. So which is particularly interesting because it's so close to Skynet. But what makes me nauseous about it is that like it's too close to Skynet, and all the things surrounding it are just as evil as Skynet. And I feel like as far as like apocalyptic kind of shit goes, I don't know if you guys saw the inauguration, but like we're there, bro. We are there. This is the end times. Like the 9 horsemen are coming in the form of our cabinet of the executive branch. And that's the creepiest shit I've ever said in my own face in my own life. I've never even thought that before. Literally, I thought, how many people are in the cabinet? Oh, shit! Cabinet's fairly evil. So this one goes, that'd be too much like right, goes to Ivanka Trump. You had a choice, girl. We were all there for you. We were all like, you know what, Ivanka, you're not as bad as everybody else, and your dad's a fucking creep, and you shouldn't have to deal with that. And then you're gonna do some shit like this, and you'd be like, you know what, Ivanka, you had a choice. And you chose the opposite reason because that'd be too much like right for you to do the right thing, right? So, damn. Cheers.
Damn.
Hot damn. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been The Mix and Syrup. My name is Will Toussaint. Thank you to our guest correspondents, Blake Byrum. Blake, I think I started to call him a dyke halfway through that, and someone was like, it was like Blake Dyke. So Blake Byrum, everybody, thank you, Blake Byrum, for coming on, buddy. You did great. Leigh Jones, our weather correspondent, she was really awesome. Thank you so much for coming. No, you can come and stay in the picture, guys. This is the end shot here. Thank you guys so much. Well, not that close. Just kind of. Let me get the space right there. Okay, don't touch that. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna be moving this show into a new space. I'm super excited. The team's super excited. These are correspondents, guys. Give it up for them. Thank you guys so much for coming. Cheers. And thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, jack off to the video, whatever you want to do. Just keep watching. Tell your friends, tell your mother, tell your brothers. Don't tell any fucking kids. This is illegal for them to drink still. Are we doing like a chain gang here? Oh, it's a slow stroke. And I'm winning. I don't know where you guys are at, but I'm fucking winning. Thank you guys again. Love you all so much. I'm going to come in so much. Nice. Thank you guys. You guys were great, man. That was awesome.
That was fun.
Here, man.
I want a little bit more tickle.
A little bit more tickle? A woogie. You guys remember that? Rocket Power? Remember fucking Rocket? You didn't stop recording? Nice. We got the woogie, right?
We were trying
nice.
to silently adjust it without
Nice. No, it's adjusting well. It's adjusting much better than I did
Don't mind us.
to the world after college.
You do your job.
like tuck in there.
I know, that's like what I'm supposed to do.